Do we like my t-shirt? Hello, it's me, and welcome to another episode of Bookish and Bewildered. Different location, yes. And I am sucking on a non-alcoholic beer. And I have like a puddle of what was formerly makeup on my shirt. And I'm dead inside. But I'm here. This is just you and me. We're among friends here, aren't we? I would hope so by this point. So, I'm dead inside. You need something to watch whilst you're sitting on the toilet. So let's help each other out here and just review a book, okay? How to Solve Your Own Murder. Now that is a book by Kristen Perrin. I think I said her name right. If it's Kirsten, you'll have to forgive me. This book is aimed at lovers of cozy crime, people who love things like Diagnosis Murder, Murder, She Wrote, Knives Out, and Only Murders in the Building, which is a fantastic show. If you've not watched it, what are you doing? Just go and do it right now. This book is split between dual timelines. It's split between the present day and 1965 in a diary of a young girl. Now, I'm not generally a fan of dual timeline books, but this was pretty good, I have to say. Now, in 1965, Frances Adams was told by a fortune teller that she would be murdered one day, and then she spends the rest of her life trying to prevent the crime. Years later, Frances's fear comes true, and she's murdered. Not only that, but her will stipulates that the person who solves her murder will inherit her millions, because she's a very rich old lady. Dual timelines can be great if it's done well. This really was, and the 1965 portion is without doubt my favourite part of the book. Frances had all the tea, all of it. It was scalding, and I was here for it. I needed a bit of escapism, and this was it. The downside to that is that I didn't really give two tiny turtle shits about the present day section of the book, which is what I think we're supposed to be really focusing on. Anyway, the plot. We join our protagonist, Annie Adams, who has recently been made redundant. Girl, we've all been there, don't worry about it. She used to work in an office job and is taking this little hiccup in her CV, shall we say, to try her hand at being a writer. And specifically, she wants to try her hand at writing murder mysteries. Her mum is a struggling artiste. She has an 8-bedroom house in central London in Chelsea, as you do, and Annie lives there rent-free in exchange for doing odd jobs around the house that her mum is too bohemian and artistic and creative to do, like paying bills, making sure that the house is clean and tidy and that everything's paid on time, the lights remain on. Annie immediately gets on my tits. I mean, on the one hand, good for her. She's living rent-free, she has her own floor in a sprawling London house. But on the other hand, fuck you, Annie Adams. Fuck you. So, Annie has been clearing out the cellar for her mum as one of those odd jobs that she does for her, because her mum wants to turn it into an art studio. Their home actually belongs to their mysterious great aunt, who is very wealthy. A lot of the trunks in the cellar and the boxes belong to her great aunt, so Annie bundles them all up, gets a hold of a courier and sends them off down to her crumbling, rambling estate in the countryside. With me so far? Good. Soon after Annie does this, an invitation arrives from her aunt asking her to attend a meeting to discuss her inheritance, being the sole beneficiary of her will and her estate. Now, she initially thinks that this is a big mistake because her mum was supposed to be the sole beneficiary. This means that Aunt Frances has cut Annie's mum out of the will. This is a bit weird, especially with no word or explanation, but apparently that's part of the eccentric Aunt Frances's charm. She does weird things with zero explanation. So, Annie goes to a little village in Dorset called Castle Knoll to meet her mysterious great aunt for the first time. Now, the way that it's written This village makes me think of Sanford from Hot Fuzz. It's very manicured and almost film set-esque. We meet the obligatory cozy crime cast of misfit characters from here onwards. Oliver, a local estate agent. Bit weird that he's there, but we soon discover why. And Elva Gravesdown. Great name. She is the gold-digging wife of Aunt Frances's nephew by marriage. They get into a car and head up to the estate as Frances can't get to the lawyer's office in the Castle Knoll village because she's having car problems. Nobody answers the door when they get to the house. They open the door, come into the house. While they're looking for Aunt Frances, they discover her body on the floor, and she had been murdered, just as the fortune teller predicted. As they snoop around until the police show up, it becomes clear that Aunt Frances was working on that fortune that she received all those years ago in 1965. And she'd been crossing out lines in the fortune as they came true. And interestingly, when Aunt Frances's will is read, Frances stipulates that the person who will inherit her vast 40 million fortune is a person that solves her murder. As I said before, there's a cast of weird and wonderful characters, and now the game is afoot. We have the body, we have an unusual circumstance. This person had her fortune told in 1965. It's predicted that she was going to be murdered. She spent her entire life trying to work out who the hell was going to try and murder her. She's got files on everybody in the village who all have the various reasons of wanting her dead, because she's either snooped into their lives and caused problems, or she's discovered out their secrets to see if they possibly might lead to a reason to want to bump her off. So there are loads of people who don't like Aunt Frances, and now Annie and the other characters are going to have to figure out who among them actually killed her. Through the flashbacks we have of Aunt Frances in 1965, we discover that at the time of Frances receiving this fortune from this fortune teller predicting her death, she had two main girlfriends, Rose and Emily. As the flashbacks continue with the diary entries in 1965, we piece together the elements that lead up to her romance with Lord Gravesdown and the disintegration of her friendship with Emily, who ultimately goes missing, which is why I find the elements of the story that are told retrospectively to be far more interesting than the present day. The present day I really don't care about. It's so engaging the way that Aunt Frances's past is written and those excerpts are written, that they are without a doubt the best parts of the book. As soon as something comes up and it's a diary entry, I'm like, ooh, Aunt Frances, ooh, what's going on, blah blah blah. So far more engaging, and I think that you'd probably like those excerpts. It's kind of a shame that it's not all written in the past, because the entire book would have been really enjoyable, but I just really loved those bits of the book that were the diary excerpts when young Frances is sort of piecing together her own mystery and some sort of scandalous nuggets of information are coming to light. Her friend Emily is toxic, so much so that you almost need a hazmat suit to sit anywhere near her. During 1965, Emily started wearing her hair in Frances's signature style, wearing her clothes and her perfume, and imitating Frances. Now, believe it or not, I can relate. I have had my fair share of toxic friends. It was horrific. I was friends with somebody with borderline personality disorder, only I didn't know that at the time. She would copy and paste everything about me and then try and gaslight me about it. So, for example, I got my very long hair cut to a short bob with fringe, so it's like this short from where it was before, which was very long. And a week later, she breezed through the front door with exactly the same haircut and tried to convince me that I had copied her, even though I had the haircut first, which might seem really petty and stupid, but that's where it started. And it didn't stop there. Oh no, dear watcher, it didn't stop there. She copied my hobbies and my interests, started frequenting all of my regular haunts, tried to sabotage my relationship, She'd steal my things. It was genuinely insane. I'd never experienced behavior like that, and it's really unsettling when all of a sudden it's like single white female, but in your actual life. It's not fiction, it's not a movie you're watching, it's not a book that you're reading, it's actually happening to you in real life. So like, I'm aware of toxic friendships and toxic people who are just like weirdly jealous of you and creepy. And so reading this character of Emily and how she treats Francis, it really gave me chills, and it made me think that maybe the author had gone through a similar toxic friendship, because she wrote it so well and so accurately. The horror, the slow build of the horror of somebody taking your stuff, somebody wearing the same clothes as you, somebody saying the same things as you, getting the same haircut as you, wearing your same perfume, going to the same places, and just basically trying to peel your skin off and wear it like pajamas. It's really disturbing. Francis was trying to explain it away and rationalize what was going on, but it's an irrational thing to have happen to you, and disturbing as fuck. So it was very interesting to see how she wrote that aspect of female friendship or toxic friendships. I'm almost certain that she's experienced a toxic friendship like that too. It turns out that not only has Emily been helping herself to Francis's things, her perfumes, her clothes, the way she speaks, the way she does her hair, she's also been helping herself to Francis's boyfriend as well. Classy. So there's a lot of back and forth between the diaries from Francis's perspective in 1965, when this all went down, and the present day investigation that's going on, and it sort of reveals bit by bit motives that people might have from the past and from Aunt Frances's murder in the present day. You know, who would want Aunt Frances dead and why? What I love about this book is that you find out about Emily's betrayal and various skeletons in other people's closets, and it adds to the mystery and how the plot is thickening. And I really enjoyed it. I did. It was a nice, easygoing, rambling story. It's my first cozy crime, and I very much enjoyed the journey that it took me along. I've had a lot going on recently, and I really needed the escapism, and I wanted to focus on something else, and this caught my attention and held my attention. I'd say the modern day part of the story was slightly lacking. It's a bit shit in places, but if you don't think about it too hard, then it's a good book. It's cozy crime. It ain't that deep. If you like Murder, She Wrote, if you like cozy crimes, I would say that this is a solid 6 out of 10. 6 or 7 out of 10. There are worse books out there. I mean, ciao.